The colony hauler Starborn Mercy had been stranded on Lysara X for 93 days when MARA VANCE noticed the stairs. Not human stairs. Humans were scarce out here. These were varken cubs. They watched from the edge of the worksite. Slate-gray scales. Sharp, curious eyes. Their gaze followed MARA VANCE as she reinforced the outer barricade. The varken were a warrior species. Their adults were tall and heavily plated. Most people spoke of them with respect, but these were not adults. These were cubs, young, restless, stuck in a refugee camp, waiting for something to change. MARA VANCE tightened the last bolt, stepped back, wiped grease from her cheek. She acted like she had not noticed them. The smallest cub shifted, then froze. The largest cub stepped forward. A translator band glowed at his throat. "You are the human builder," it said. MARA VANCE raised an eyebrow. "That depends." "You here to judge my barricade?" The cub blinked. "They say humans build clever traps from scrap." MARA VANCE gave a short laugh. "We call it creative engineering." The cub's eyes narrowed. "You are not large." "Nope, you have no claws." "Also true, you have no natural armor." MARA VANCE tapped her worn vest. "I have store-bought armor. It works." The other cubs made clicking sounds. MARA VANCE understood it as laughter. The leader tilted his head. "If you are soft, why do you stay?" MARA VANCE looked toward the settlement. Welded shelters, patched screens, a sensor mast that worked when it wanted. Humans and varken lived here because neither had anywhere else to go. "Because stubborn people can survive," she said, "and smart people can protect what matters." The cub considered that. "What is your name?" he asked. "MARA VANCE." He touched his chest plate. "I am Core, first of clutch." MARA VANCE nodded. "All right, Core, what do you want?" "Teach us," Core said. "Teach you what?" "How humans win." MARA VANCE looked at her hands. Grease, burn marks, old scars. Then she looked at the cubs, trying to look brave. "How humans win," she repeated. "We do not win by being stronger. We win by thinking better." KORR's eyes brightened. "Teach us that." It started simple. After her shift, when the camp went quiet, MARA VANCE met the cubs near shipping crates. She drew lines in the dust. "This is where you control the path," she said. KORR squinted. "It is narrow." "Exactly." MARA VANCE arranged containers like walls. "A tight passage. One person at a time." "This is a choke point," she said. "Control the narrow places, and you control the problem." KORR flicked his tail. "Varken prefer open ground." "Open ground is for showing off," MARA VANCE said. "Tight ground is for winning." They went quiet. Then MARA VANCE clapped once. "Now we play." She tossed a small beacon into the crate maze. "Hide and seek," she said. "Human version." KORR frowned. "We know this game." "Not this version," MARA VANCE said. "You do not hide to avoid being found. You hide to shape what the seeker believes." Within days, the cubs focused hard. They learned silence, shadows, blind corners. They learned to leave false trails, and to stop thinking in straight lines. MARA VANCE taught sightlines, dead angles, cover, and concealment. And one rule above all: if you make your opponent choose wrong, you already win. One evening, Captain Joran Halt watched from a distance. "You are training children," he said. "I'm teaching cubs to think," MARA VANCE said. Joran crossed his arms. "They are not soldiers. Neither are the human kids in Pod 4. MARA VANCE said. "But danger does not care." Joran looked away. MARA VANCE tapped her map. "We do not need to hit harder. We need to confuse them." Joran exhaled. Scouts picked up signals. A Drakari group. 2 weeks, maybe 3. "How many?" "Over 100, Joran said. "Maybe 150. MARA VANCE stared at the numbers. The settlement had 35 defenders. and crowds were what Drakri trusted. Later, Kor found MARA VANCE at the outer barrier. "You are afraid," he said. "Yeah," MARA VANCE answered. "My elders say fear is weakness." "Your elders are wrong," MARA VANCE said. "Fear is information. It tells you what matters. Then you act anyway." Kor listened. "The adults speak of leaving," he said. "Maybe we will," MARA VANCE said. "But we will not panic." Kor's band pulsed. "Teach us, not games." MARA VANCE studied him. "Teach us sideways thinking," Kor said. MARA VANCE nodded once. "All right, no more games." She pointed to the main corridor, the path everyone used because it was easy. "We will turn this place into a lesson," she said. Kor blinked. "A lesson." MARA VANCE gave a small, serious smile. "They will walk into it." The Drakari came at dawn. Dropships landed beyond the ridge. Armored figures moved with confidence. They expected defenders at the perimeter. Instead, they found silence. They moved into the main corridor. Wide, straight, easy. MARA VANCE watched from above. She did not need heavy weapons. She needed timing. Small charges folded structures inward, controlled, planned. The corridor narrowed. A beam dropped like a locked door. The Drakari paused, then pushed forward anyway, because that is what they always did. "Now," MARA VANCE whispered. The varken CUBS moved. From vents, from overhead spaces, from hidden gaps. They carried tools made from scrap, bright flashes, smoke packs, tangling nets. The corridor filled with light, then smoke, then loud feedback noise. The Drakari could not see clearly, could not coordinate, could not move as a group. They slowed each other down. They tried to turn back. The path behind them was blocked. MARA VANCE spoke into CUBS. "Adults, on my mark." Defenders moved from side lanes. Not for glory, for control. The Drakari tried to force their way through. Then Kor dropped behind their commander. Kor pressed a smoke pack onto the visor. Sticky resin sealed it. The commander stumbled. Kor's band glowed. "This is human hide and seek," he said. Another controlled fold closed the path. The Drakari lost momentum, then backed out. They returned to their dropships. They left behind gear and confidence. 3 days later, the camp felt lighter. MARA VANCE stood at the broken corridor, watching CUBS climb through the wreckage like it was a playground. Because it was. Joran approached. "The Varken elders want to mark you," he said. "Warriors' recognition." MARA VANCE shook her head. "Mark the ones who held the side lanes. They did the hard part." Joran gave a tired smile. "You've built the plan." MARA VANCE looked at the CUBS. Kor sat on a fallen slab. Watching like a young leader, he saw MARA VANCE and walked over. "Teacher MARA," his band translated. MARA VANCE raised an eyebrow. "Teacher? The elders say we must learn more human tactics," Kor said. MARA VANCE folded her arms. "And what do you say?" Kor's eyes gleamed. "Sideways thinking makes strong enemies hesitate." MARA VANCE looked up at the sky. Signals would travel. Stories would spread. Stories about CUBS who were not supposed to be clever. Stories about a corridor that changed everything. MARA VANCE smiled. "Then we get back to work," she said. Kor tilted his head. "We teach something new." MARA VANCE nodded. Cross lanes. False retreats. And how to make a large force chase the wrong path. Kor clicked a laugh. Almost human. The pale sun slid toward the horizon. A human builder and a varken cub stood together, and somewhere out in the dark, the galaxy learned a quiet truth. When humans teach others to think sideways, the rules change. Like and share if you enjoyed this story. Comment your favorite moment below. And if you want more HFY stories with CUBS and smart humans, subscribe right now. Asterisk, thanks for watching. See you in the next story.